This third and final example is what happens when we have two sets of brackets multiplied together and both of them are involving surds. Now, in this video, we need to do the expansion of two brackets, just like we did in algebra. I'll just do it over to the side here. In algebra, if we had two brackets that looked like this, you might have learnt it as the FOIL method or something like that, where we have to multiply each term in the first bracket by each term in the second bracket. And generally, in my experience, students are pretty good at, when they get reminded, they're pretty good at doing this. A times C, so that's the first terms. The outside terms come next, A times D. And then we do the inside terms, B times C. And then we do the last terms, B times D. Okay, most students generally come through high school knowing how to do that, but they often wonder, well, why the heck does that work? I'm not going to deal with that question in this video because I want to focus on the surds, but if you aren't so sure about this, can you just make a comment somewhere on the Schoology page, and I can easily do another video sort of unpacking why this rule works. We're just going to go right ahead and we're going to apply it to this expansion here. So what we need to do is we need to multiply each term in the first bracket by each term in the second bracket. So I'm going to take my 2 root 3. Oh, I forgot the 2. There we go. 2 root 3 times the first term here, 3 root 3. Then I'm going to do 2 root 3 times the second term of this bracket, square root of 2, and we need to be really careful with our negative signs. This is a positive 2 root 3 because if I don't see a sign, I assume it's positive. So I've got a 2 root 3 here. This one has a negative sign, so a positive number times a negative number, that's going to be a negative result to this. Okay, I've done the first term by each of these, first time by this, first time by that. Now I'm going to have to do this square root of 2 times each of these. So my next term is going to be square root of 2 times 3 root 3. It's times there. And the last term, square root of 2 times negative square root of 2. Positive times a negative, that's going to be a negative again. Root 2 times root 2. Okay, that's a real mess. It looks horrible at this step. But the point of this is we're going to tidy up on the next step. And again, we've got a mix of multiplications with additions and subtractions. So we can only really juggle the order within each of these sections that are separated by the pluses and minuses. Okay, so in here, I'm going to put my non-surd parts together, I guess. So 2 times 3. Then I'm going to have times, I'm going to put this square root of 3 times this other square root of 3. Then I'm going to get a 2 times square root of 3 times square root of 2. There's not much I can do there. In fact, on this step I might even just simplify it together. These aren't going to tidy up at all, so I'm going to still have my 2. I might as well gather these together under the one expression. 3 times 2. And here I'm going to put the number first, 3 times the square root of 2 times the square root of 3. And finally, square root of 2 times square root of 2. Hopefully we're getting good enough at these that we can see that that's just going to be 2, because I have square root of 2 times square root of 2, that's square root of 2 squared, and those square root of 2 squared, well, that's just going to be equal to 2. So that's what I've got here. Alright, next line. Okay, 2 times 3, that's just going to be 6. And looking here, the square root of 3 times the square root of 3, just like over here with square root of 2 times square root of 2, this is just going to be equal to 3. I'll come back and finish that off on the next line. Here I've got a 3 times 2, so 2 square root of 6. This expression here, similarly to over here, that can just be written as the square root of 2 times 3. And of course 2 times 3 again is just going to be 6. And I'm going to keep this minus 2 here still. Almost there. 6 times 3, 3 sixes are 18. Minus 2 root 6 plus 3 root 6 minus 2. And this looks just like one of the earlier addition and subtraction type questions that we were doing. So 18 take away 2. What I'm doing there is I'm gathering my like terms. I've got a term without a surd here and another term without a surd there. 18 take away 2 is just going to be 16. And I've got a term with a root 6 here and a term with a root 6 there. So what I've got is negative 2, because the negative, of course, belongs to the 2. So negative 2 plus 3. Negative 2 plus 3, that's just equal to 1. So this becomes plus 1 root 6. We all know that, of course, if we just got a plus 1 out the front, we can just get rid of it. And I've just got 16 plus root 6.